Everybody involved in collecting this amazing petition. It's been a brilliant job. We're at 800,000, but we mustn't stop until we get to 1 million and then more. I will be presenting this petition to the House of Commons on Thursday after it's been first across the Downing Street now, but I'm not holding my hands or my heart for very long to believe that this man who occupies illegitimately Downing Street will do anything for the nurses. And why do I think that? It's because on the one hand, we know that there were 100,000 vacancies before the pandemic started. And we know that they doubled the waiting lists, doubled them before the pandemic started. We know that although they argue there's no money to pay the nurses, a just increase, but there is. But this is one of the richest countries in the world. But where is that wealth? Where is it? It's not in the hands of the key workers, the nurses, the doctors and all those other people who have kept our country going. It's in the hands of the wealthiest people in our society, the British ruling class. During the pandemic, I think I'm right in saying that the wealthiest 250 people in the country increased their wealth by £100 billion. Don't tell me that when there are spivs making money from people's illness, that we can't pay the nurses 15%. We clearly can. This is a question of political priority, the choices which this government makes. I don't wait for a second for the Tories to change that. After all, today, what did we learn? We learned that Boris Johnson, our so-called Prime Minister, thought it was okay to let 80-year-old people die. To die because he didn't want to pay the cost of funding a proper national health service. That was the choice he was prepared to make. But when you think about doctors and nurses and what's called the Hippocratic Oath, clinicians in our country put their bodies, their professionalism, their determination between the virus and our people, including people over 80, because they believed in that Hippocratic Oath. It's the duty of every human being to look after each other. But that is not the system which is being pressed on us through the nature of capitalism in our society today, the one which is embraced by our Prime Minister. And so, I say this, I tabled a motion in the House of Commons advocating 50% increase for all NHS staff, all of them. Members of almost every party have signed it, but there are still some parties who haven't. The Tories haven't, and the Lib Dem haven't either. More of the Labour MPs should be signing it. If you've got an MP, you should get them to sign my EDM, because it's important that we put the pressure on. But at the end of the day, and this is my final point, this is a fight for the soul of our nation. This is a fight for the ethos, the central ethos, organising ethos for where our society should be organised. Either we are a society which cares for each other, which recognises solidarity, which recognises professionalism, and which says that each one owes a duty to all the rest. That is my kind of socialism. That's what I believe in. And you nurses, the doctors and everybody else in the NHS, every single day demonstrate that that is the right way for our country to run. So when we say 15% for the nurses, and when we say we will support you in any action you take, what we are saying is we will join the fight to save our nation's soul by fighting first for the nurses and then for the whole of the NHS. It's the only way to change our country for the better, and by the way, to get rid of him.